I guess the most obvious thing to talk about a little bit is the Acolyte. The first trailer for it has finally dropped. This is a show that was first announced back in 2020, so 4 years ago.
I can't wait.
And it's going to be releasing in June, the start of June. So it's barely 2 months from now. And they've just finally put out the first trailer for it. I'm getting real, like, the Marvels vibes from this. Like, they know what this show is, and they've been holding back as long as possible. But I guess I'd be interested to know what you guys' thoughts are on the trailer. What did you think of this? What does it tell you about this show? And are you excited to see the inside of the mind of Harvey Weinstein's former assistant?
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk for everyone, but I thought, like, didn't everyone else feel like it was Frozen made by Tarantino?
Yeah, it felt like Frozen.
That was a bizarre description.
Yeah.
Oh, but
I should
know
say
what
Leslie
meant,
Headland. That's how she described her own show, didn't she? It was Kill Bill meets Frozen, which I think you said, Drinker, on Twitter that. Oh, X, sorry. I can't get used to saying X. That it's doesn't even make sense, that description.
No.
No,
she described it that way because in Frozen, the true love was between two sisters, and the main protagonist, played by Amandla, however you say her name, Stenberg, she's playing twins, one raised by the Jedi, one by the... So I think she's making a connection that the true love will be what saves them. That's the best interpretation of it I can find, is that's the connection she's making. It still sounds not apt to what you would want from Star Wars. And I got major Eternals vibes from the entire trailer.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think one of the biggest problems with the trailer is that if you don't know about the show, if you don't know that it's set 100 years before, if you've never heard of the High Republic, which the vast majority of people haven't because no one reads those books, if you don't know any of that shit, what are you even thinking about with this trailer? Because it gives you no time frame for where they are, when they are, what their goals are. It gives you no idea what's going on. And I thought that was a strange way to approach it, and like try to remove myself from what I know about it and set myself as a random Star Wars person who's watching this, as a random Star Wars fan. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
No one is reading those High Republic books. No one. So I don't know what they even less than people that watched all the Marvel Disney Plus extra stuff. Less than that. So,
but all the Disney stuff is so vague. Like, they love just the vagueness of the trailers. Even the shows are vague.
Well, like, this is one of the things that I picked up on when I was trying to analyze this trailer. Like, okay, like the point of a trailer is one, to get you excited for the show, show you a bunch of really cool stuff, and give you some insight into what the story is going to be. What are the stakes? Who are the main characters? What are they trying to do? Something. And I got really nothing from this trailer apart from somebody's killing Jedi. That's it. That's all I got. The rest of it was just a collection of scenes of people just doing stuff, but there was no narrative thread that tied any of it together. It was a weird trailer.
There were strong, like diverse women.
But they, they got the words in balance, power, like just these points, and then we meant to get excited because we see 52 lightsabers light up, and that's about it.
I see fire. My favorite.
It was like, take some things that people recognize. Well, people recognize the Jedi training facility on Coruscant. Like, they recognize the younglings, and so put that stuff in there. Okay, fine, but like, you've got to give us more than that. You've got to give us a thread to pull on here. You've got to give us something that's going to pull us in. And there was nothing that gave me any sort of interest about this show. It just looked bland and forgettable, and wow, like, we talked about this just before we went live. It was diverse as fuck.
Was it though? Because there weren't too many whiteys.
No,
like, diversity means to them. So yeah, it was very, according to them, diverse. And yes, queen, yes.
I made a point of this in my review just earlier, where it's like I took that scene where all the younglings are there in the Jedi Temple, and it's like, okay, spot the white kid. There's not a single one. It's all like, they're all female, alien, a couple of black kids, an Asian kid, more females, and that's it. There's not a single white kid anywhere there.
There's one white man that I saw in the trailer, and it was the person that was getting mind tricked by the Asian Jedi, and if you turn on the closed captions, his name is just Convict. So ironically, the only white person in this thing's in jail.
Well, that's the one I'm going to relate to. Star Wars are very different than statistics here. They're reversed of who commits crime. Unfortunately, it's very.
I don't know if what they're trying to go for here is almost saying like, okay, this is the point where you're at the height of the power of this republic. Like, this is the era of peace, prosperity, stability, because it's run by women. But what you're actually saying is this is just before everything collapses.
Because it's run by women.
That's what happens when you put them in control of everything.
Show.
It is 100 years,
ironically,
right?
that's about what we're going to see from House of the Dragon as well. So
I would say, Ryan, it is 100 years, right? The difference, because we kept hearing it was 50 years. And if it's 50 years, they're definitely going to step all over the Plagueis book. If it's 100 years, they're still probably going to step over it, but they at least have more leeway because maybe just Plagueis' master, Tenebrous or Tenebrae. No, Tenebrous, sorry. Tenebrae is the other one.
I think it's 100 years. That's what I've read. This is meant to be 100 years before the events of the prequels.
That's what it sounds like at this point. And yeah, you got to wonder exactly what they're going to do, how they're going to work the Sith into this. And if anybody discovers a Sith, and to make sure all those motherfuckers die if they do.
Because did you see her saying she was excited they let her use canon? Sorry, Mahler. She was excited they let her use canon, which means she's probably going to take all the Plagueis stuff and just boop, boop, boop. Plagueis will be a woman now. Go ahead, Mahler.
Also, don't worry about interrupting me because I'm fucking lagging, apparently. I'll try and fix that over the course of this stream.
Well, I mean, do you want to...
You just drop and come back in my
Yeah, just come out and come back in. It's probably easier. And probably reset your connection.
We'll try that right after saying that. I would have thought Ryan would have liked the trailer, at least the racism part of it, right? Because like they're all telling him to close their eyes, and there's that one alien that doesn't even have eyelids.
Can't close his eyes.
Ever like
it's ableist. Very ableist.
That's so xenophobic. You know, how dare you give a command like that?
Do you think the teacher realized like halfway through the lesson was like, "Oh fuck, shit, all right, don't worry about it, man." Like,
not you, Sando. You don't count.
On your eye. Yeah, I'll try rejoined.
How does that dude sleep if he can't even close his eyes?
Membrane, alien eye membrane.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't sleep.
That's true.
Maybe,
yeah. Maybe
how do they keep doing those things? Like, if you're going to write in the script, close your eyes, you don't grab the puppet that doesn't have eyelids. Like, it just seems a pretty obvious thing to do.
It just feels like nobody on this show gave a fuck, or nobody even thought about that stuff.
Was ripping off the prequels. It was the scene of Yoda teaching the younglings, and then like the basic message of like, don't trust your eyes, they'll deceive you, because it's a sophisticated key jangling. It's sort of what Leslie was saying, is that she's sophisticatedly key jangling while inserting her own message of queerness in a queer world as a queer girl.
Well, I don't mind echoes of what should be true, right? You know, if we see the way the Jedi Order was 100 years before the way it is now, and you know, we do kind of assume they've gotten dogmatic and they don't want to change. They're pretty rigid and things like that. It's kind of what we get in the prequels. You would assume that 100 years before would be similar. So I don't mind, you know, them showing that, hey, we've been training this way. Things that doesn't bother me as much as some other like super hard like character cameo nostalgia bait would. Because the Jedi Order should be like that, you know?
Yaddle, Yoda, Yazriel Proof. Who else can they ruin should be alive that won't? Because the one High Republic book I read, they said Yoda was on a sabbatical.
Well, I was going to say, like, for your generic key jangling, the only character that you're going to be able to work in that people will remember is Yoda, like general audiences. Mm-hmm. That's the only one who can conceivably be alive at this time period. So, yeah, I guess expect to see him.
I said on, I think I said on Stargrift that I think we're actually as a backdoor prequel for how Grogu was born, because we're going to see that Yoda and Yaddle were clapping cheeks, and that's what we're actually going to see. That's what's going to be exposed. It's Yoda that's killing Jedi that know his secret, that he's been fucking Yaddle on the side.
It works because it makes him a hypocrite, and they could, oh look, he was corrupt all along. It was the Me Too inside the Jedi Order.
Like, I think Trinity would find Yoda quite attractive, wouldn't she? They could maybe get together. Just saying, Ryan.
What was going on with Carrie Ann Moss and her weird, like, I've got no spinal column fighting style, where it's like she's just completely rigid the whole time. Like, why are you doing that?
It's evoking the Matrix. Shut up. It's cool.
It's Terra
It's not cool, though. It's fucking retarded.
Star Wars martial arts.
It's so cool. It's so cool. You don't even know how cool it is.
She figured.
Even though I'm happy to see it, their originality, like, you just know they're just like, okay, we need this sort of character. Oh, she was like that in the Matrix. Go hire her. Like, there's just no original thought anywhere. You know, I'm happy to see it, but yeah, would have been good to see her do something a little bit different.
But we want
And
lightsaber fights, and she gave her throwing knives and made her dodge, and it's like this. I want just. If the criticism is that we just want lightsaber fights and blasters and all that, well, this certainly wasn't catering to that. Like,
it's not like I want lightsabers everywhere and like they just get overused to the point where they don't mean anything anymore. But like, if you have to engage in combat with someone and you have a lightsaber, it doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't use it. It's a massive advantage in any fight.
And to Ryan's point, anyone they introduce that in any way could expose the Sith, because we know what happens. It has to all lead to Palpatine and Sidious taking over. They have to all be gone by the end of this. You can't have any sneaky thing where you introduce a new side character that just stays. No, they all have to be gone. Jedi and any other rivals alike, because it seems like it's more than
the
just
only one with
Sith.
the spicy take on that of just that's like the last thing I would expect them to nail in any way, shape, or form, and them breaking it wouldn't be a surprise in any way. Like,
they're gonna break it.
Them contradicting a line from the prequels, like, well, yeah, that's like lower on the list of the horrible problems they're gonna have. They would give a shit,
They destroyed Darth Vader, so this is nothing.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, they'll annihilate one of the most like fucking financially beneficial characters, several of them in their fucking IP. But maybe they won't break a line from the prequels about the continuity of Sith. You're like,
but they'll change motivations or something.
It's more so that line to me is more so the importance because it's kind of the entire mindset of the Jedi and the entire history of this stuff, like how much is led up to this staying secret for a millennia, all leading up to this moment. But there are ways to have people that have red lightsabers that don't make them Sith, right? We've seen a multitude of them throughout Star Wars content. So just because someone has a lightsaber doesn't mean that they will assume they're Sith. In fact, they might assume they're not because they haven't been around for 900 years at this point. But who knows? Who knows if the lightsaber we saw is actually a Sith?
Ryan, has Disney got you? Are you a shill now? Are you getting checks from Disney now?
They're not paying out much, but I'm trying.
That's just indicative of the fact that like Star Wars is pretty cooked as an IP anyway, and the fact that we're like red lightsaber means bad. Like,
well, the way they're doing it, and they just changed the red lightsaber dynamics too. They changed it to, it used to be they were synthetic, and now they have to bleed them or whatever the hell that means, where you focus negative energy on it. So they keep changing those dynamics, but it didn't used to mean automatically. They were dark, like Brian said, there were ironically dark acolytes, and there were dark Force users, and other people that just dark Jedi, whatever.
Well, like, I mean, with the mechanics as they work, you could just have someone, like Kylo threw his stupid fucking lightsaber in the ocean. It's like, if some just fisherman found that and he has it, it's like, oh god, he's a Sith. It's like, no, I'm just a guy. Like,
Kylo wasn't a Sith. That was a common,
I'm not even talking about that, though. Like,
I know. The mechanics are sure changed.
That's the show I want, the fisherman that finds that lightsaber.
I couldn't get, like, I was there entirely for the memes when it came to, like, that poster.
That's what I'm here for.
The tampons, the pads, like a multitude of memes were made very quickly. And you were spot on when you talked about it at the beginning. We've known the show has been in the works for a while. They put a trailer out that was fairly similar to this trailer at Star Wars Celebration a year ago in April. And that they never released anything else. Any teasers, any pictures, nothing. This is the first thing we have 2.5 months before it premieres. They knew it was probably going to get wrecked, and they know the PR around this is generally bad, which is probably why they wanted to hide it for this long.
Well, I mean,
I like the poster. They must have thought there's nothing they can do with this poster. It's just a bit of blood. We're safe. They won't make fun of it.
First thing I thought, period.
Like, clearly you have underestimated the internet here.
Yes, that was my favorite.
Disappoint.
Especially with the always, the brand right there. I love it.